Hi, and welcome to Disctv, the show that brings you the world of disc golf. I'm Brian Sullivan. This week we're in St. Charles County, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis, for the 2002 Gateway Open. We're on a brand new course. The players haven't played it yet, and some top names are here, including George Smith, the guy who's been tearing it up over the last 6 weeks. So don't go anywhere, because Disctv is on the air right now. Also this week, if you can safely putt from 20 feet or less, David McCormack will teach you how to win at disc golf by improving your approach game, and he'll get you within 20 feet of the basket every time. It's all about disc golf. This is Disctv.
Good putt.
Disctv is brought to you in part by the Professional Disc Golf Association, guiding disc golf into the future. DiscLife.com, the world leader in disc golf. And by Gateway Golf Discs, for those who want to throw and win. Welcome to Disctv's coverage of the 2002 Gateway Open. We're in St. Charles County, Missouri, and our tournament director this weekend is David McCormack. David, first tell us a little bit of history behind the tournament.
This is going to be the 12th annual Gateway Open. We pretty much try to have the tournament at our newest course. This course is Quail Ridge Disc Golf Course. It's only about 6 weeks old, and it offers a lot of different types of shots, from open, wide open with several hills, to tight in the woods. The wind's picking up a little bit today. It should test the players pretty well.
And what's our total distance on the course?
I think the total distance is around 5,200 feet, so it's fairly short for most disc golf courses, but it offers lots of obstacles with terrain, mainly on the greens. Lots of tough green areas.
You've been here at registration this morning. Who's checked in? Who have you got your eye on to possibly win?
George Smith and Travis FLETT coming up from Columbia. Those guys always do well around here. We've got Cam Roanhorse, which is nominated for Rookie of the Year. Let's see, Todd Ebens is down from Chicago, and seeing that the course is brand new and nobody's had a chance to play it, it could be wide open for a lot of other players too.
David, thanks. We'll be talking to you again later. Right now, let's get you right out to the action. Welcome to St. Charles County, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. The weather's beautiful, with light breezes under partly cloudy skies and temps in the mid-70s. Now, if there's one thing we noticed about the field of players this weekend, it was the putting. Now, typically a good putter will make most shots from inside 20 feet, but the players this weekend were consistently hitting from 30 or more. Here's a 65-foot attempt from REYES, and this one, believe it or not, is gonna be good. REYES was hanging close to the leaders after a strong second round, but you can only make so many long putts before they start to miss. Well, nice try anyway, Roger. Meanwhile, tournament director David McCormack insisted that he hadn't been practicing much lately, but still managed to bang home some long deuces. McCormack designed this course and knows all the local routes for getting to the basket, but sometimes a big putt is just as satisfying as a crushing drive, especially if you're hitting that big putt from inside the shul. What do you think, David? Is this one going to go in? Here's John Robo Ruvalakaba. They call him Robo because it's a lot easier to say than Ruvalakaba. But this weekend, he was Robo because only a machine could putt with more accuracy. Robo was looking strong in the first round, finding himself only one stroke off the lead. By round two, he was struggling from the long tees, and the extra long putts would help keep Robo in the hunt. Meanwhile, Travis the Threat FLETT of Missouri was showing the field that he is indeed a threat from both the long and the short tees. FLETT was parking his drives all weekend, and when the drive wasn't quite parked, FLETT was there to finish it off. Kansas City's BECKETT CARDUFF brought his A game across the state to St. Charles County this weekend. Round one, CARDUFF is tied for the lead after shooting a fantastic 8 under par 46. But he wasn't done yet. Cardiff would shoot under par in every single round with methodical confidence and an easygoing attitude that made him a welcome addition to any group of players this weekend. Like the other players here at the Gateway Open, Beckett Cardiff was hitting some long putts, but no one is going to hit every 90-footer. Cardiff managed to keep it together and found himself in the final 9 by a narrow margin of 1 stroke. Steve FORNERIS shocked many people by shooting his way onto the lead card for the 2nd round and again for the 3rd round. The 25-year-old from Joliet, Illinois soon had the support of the crowd and set the cruise control to smooth, as in smooth drives and smooth putts. FORNERIS also had one of the Mondo putts of the weekend. 70 feet out, shul to the left, low ceiling. Now most players would lay this one up, but Steve FORNERIS has chain on the brain. That one is good. George Smith of Columbia, Missouri isn't exactly known as an in-your-face kind of guy. In fact, he's downright shy. But when it comes to disc golf, Smith will rip you to shreds while quietly apologizing for blowing you completely out of the water. Smith doesn't miss his putts, doesn't miss his drives, and did we mention he doesn't miss his putts? George Smith was a shoo-in for the final 9, and everyone, including him, knew it. Finally, we come to Andy Ritter of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Now, Ritter finished in 12th place at the 2001 Disc Golf World Championships, and the 35-year-old mechanical engineer was looking pretty darn good for a guy who is not out on tour full-time. In fact, Ritter took the lead in round 1 and kept it in round 2, and still managed to hang on to that lead after 3 rounds. He was unshakable throughout, and there was no doubt that Andy Ritter would be in this weekend's Final 9 shootout. So the course is brand new then, David?
Yeah, this is Quail Ridge Disc Golf Course in St. Charles County. It's been in about 6 weeks.
We are taking a closer look at one of the holes that we're going to be playing this weekend. We're on hole 4. Now this is 308 feet. We're with David McCormack, our course designer. David, tell me a little bit about the hole and how we're going to play it.
This is a real natural hole on the disc golf course. It's a left to right, slightly elevated, probably about 10-15 feet of elevation change. There's danger on the left, there's danger on the right. The wind's not picking up too much, so it should be a nice little left to right turnover shot into the cove.
And if for some reason my shot goes not quite to the basket, do I want to be on the left or the right? Is
You're
either
probably better being wide left. If you get caught down right at the very beginning, it's a difficult little layup shot into the hole.
All right, let's give it a shot.
All right.
So what are you throwing here, David?
I've got a slightly beat, very firm putter right here that's only 308 feet and it's downhill, and I've got plenty enough power to reach this with my putter, so that's what I'm going to throw. The wind's picking up just a little bit, so I probably won't have to turn it so much. Just let the wind track it right on into the hole.
Tear it up. Very nice.
It's about 30 short.
Well, I don't have the confidence in my putter's distance as you do, so I'm going to throw a mid-range disc here and go with hopefully the same turnover shot. Not quite the same.
That was early, but it kicked out, so you got a little lucky break.
You seem to get a lot of good support from the parks here, David.
Oh, they've been tremendous. They've probably put 200 man-hours into the park in the last 2 weeks alone.
Wow. Well, I seem to be looking at about an 80-foot putt, not a shot that I'm known for making.
Might as well give it a chance to go in.
I will give it a chance. A little deep, perhaps. Nice drive for you there, David. Got almost a downhill putt here.
Not too bad. It's a little bit of an angle where I'm going to putt from. That's not too bad. Not too good.
I have to admit, David, that my putting has been a little shaky lately.
Well, confidence is everything.
It's good!
Nice.
Star frame right here, David.
Yeah, star par.
Just like that. David, thanks for showing us around.
Thank you, Brian.
It's Quail Ridge Park in St. Charles County, Missouri, which is just outside of St. Louis. Now, David, if people are looking for more information about disc golf and tournaments in the St. Louis area, where can they go?
We have a website. It's www.gdstour.com. We have all the local information for our courses and upcoming events.
You're going to like it. Come disc golfing in St. Louis. This is the part of the show where we talk with a disc golf professional, and hopefully he or she is going to help us improve our own disc golf games. This week we're talking with St. Louis pro David McCormack. David, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Now, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about laying up and approaching.
Okay, the approach game. It's an important part of the disc golf game, but what does it really mean?
Basically, after you throw your first shot, you're going to throw a layup shot or an approach shot that within a certain distance, you're going to give the disc a chance to go in the basket.
Okay, so what are some of the things we need to think about as we're planning an approach shot? What are the components of an approach shot?
One thing obviously is where your disc is going to wind up when it's over with. So you want to come in at a nice pace, you want to have some loft on it, and you want to give it a chance to go into the chains.
Now, if I'm a new player, my approach shots go 100 feet past the basket.
Usually speed's the problem. Usually players are throwing the frisbees, the discs too far. They want to throw. You want to have a nice slow pace that lets the disc get into a flight, so that it actually goes and pans out and then stays on that little plane and has a chance to go into the chains.
Okay, so let's show me a little bit about how it works. First of all, how do you grip the disc? Are you gripping it any differently than from, say, a drive?
Sure. A drive, you would basically get your fingerprints or your tips, however big your hands are, on the rim, and you would get it up in the groove of your hand. And your thumb, depending on how big your hands are, would be in or out on the rim. For an approach, you would want to get more of your fingers out across the flight plate, and your thumb, again, out in the open, whatever's comfortable, depending on hand size. And basically, you want to be a little bit handsy with approach shots more than you would drives. You want to have a decent amount of revolutions on it. The revolutions help keep the disc stay in flight on the plane that you put them on.
So how is the different grip from this, to something like this? How is that affecting the throw? How is that helping you control?
Much more control. You're able to get your fingers out here and your thumb out here, and you can really feel the discs through the flight plate. Mm-hmm. Over here, you're just trying to crank it out and make it leave your hand as quick as possible with as least friction as possible. Here, it's okay that if you have the frisbee flying slower, because you actually want it flying slower so that you're giving it as much chance as you can to go into the basket.
Okay, what about your stance? Is there anything special you need to think about there?
Sure. Basically, what I always do is, if your lie's here and you want to mark your lie, is I want to concentrate on making sure my foot is nice and firm on the ground. I'm going to come up, I'm going to stomp. If there's any debris, I'm going to get it out of the way. So that's my right foot. And then I want to line myself up with the target and figure out where my left foot's going to be. Make sure I'm not falling into a hole. My foot's not going to fall into a hole. And I'm going to have some nice firm ground. I don't want to be straight like this, because then I'm off balance. I don't want to be way out here, because then I can't get any power on the shot. So I want to have a nice 3/4 stance and make sure that I get the frisbee behind me, and I also want to turn my hips also behind the shot. And as I reach back like this, and as I follow through, I want to get it curled up on the wrist, get it here set, and then walk through the shot, basically not using just my arm, but making sure that I use my hips and finish forward the shot. Just like a drive, you don't want to stomp and plant. And just like a layup shot, you don't want to be all with your arm. You want to make sure that it's fluid, and you reach back here and you get your hips turned back, and you give it a chance to go in the basket by getting the disc up high enough.
So, firm, balanced stance.
And
a nice, smooth follow through.
Nice and easy, level, and making sure you finish your body forward too. If you don't finish your body forward, you're likely to jerk the frisbee to the right.
Can you show us?
Sure. Being this is flat ground, I'm not too afraid of the disc going that far past the basket. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a full run from here. Get my firm planting, get my foot back here, 3/4 stance, get the disc back. I usually do like a little 1, 2, 3 count. 1, 2, and then I throw. So that helps with muscle memory. If you do that for 10 years, you're going to be pretty accurate on 1, 2, 3. So you always want to develop some kind of routine like that. Get yourself set.
Kind of like a basketball player.
Pretty much on the free throw, this is pretty much like that. Get yourself planted firm, get yourself set, feel it in your hand, get your hand all, get it back, give it a chance to go in. Now that was chain high, and it's only 20 feet away. If you don't give yourself a chance to make 50 or 100 footers, you're losing out and missing opportunities to score in the game of disc golf.
Landed within 20 feet, David, a successful approach.
That's exactly what I want to try to do every single time.
So what do you like to approach with? Tell me about the disc selection you've got going.
I like to recommend players use a very firm or medium firm disc that is tacky in the surface, and also this particular model is very thin in the flight plate, which gives you nice feel between your fingers and your thumb whenever you're throwing the discs from here to here. Also, the tacky surface helps with the disc sticking in the chains.
Sounds like almost a Zen thing.
Yeah, people are very particular, I'm sure, about their putters and their layup discs. They got to feel right in their hand. It's got to be right for them.
Now, I'm confused about something, so help me understand. We're approaching, but yet this disc is marked as a putter, and there are approach discs, so what's going on?
Putters fly slower than most other discs on the market, so what you get out of that is less fade left and less turn to the right whenever you are throwing it. Basically, you want to get the frisbee up on a flight plane and have it stay on that track for as long as possible, and making it run chain high to give yourself a chance for the disc to go in the basket.
So then, when do I use the approach disc in my bag?
Probably whenever you can't throw it a putter that far. I would recommend that anytime you can ever reach the basket with your putter, you should throw your putter.
Because it's so stable, so dependable.
More accurate, way more accurate than any other model. Has less fall off to the left at the end. Plus, you can't turn it as quickly to the right either. So it stays on a more even plane the whole way, especially from 50 to 150 feet.
Okay. And discs come in different weights. They're usually marked in grams, 160 grams, 170 grams. Should I be concerned about that as a new player?
I would say as you develop your game, you're going to go from 165 towards 175. At some point, there's going to be a diminishing return for you for its effectiveness. If the stronger you are and the more arm speed and rotations you can put on the disc, the heavier you want the disc to be. If you don't have all the upper body strength, or if you don't have all the technique, you might want to use a lighter weight disc, because they also, the lighter they are, the less they fall off at the end to the left. And the more they actually stay up in the air longer too if they're lighter.
Great, okay. Let's see your form again, and then I think I'll try too.
Okay. Again, I'm going to try to do the same thing where I turn it over left to right slightly and have it flex back out at the last second, giving it chain high, hopefully. Get it firm plant behind the lie. Make sure your left foot's not going to fall or roll on a rock or a stick. Get it nicely cupped in your hand. Really feel it in the wrist. You want to be a little bit handsy with the shot. So you want to get it back behind you. You want to get your hips away from the target, and you want to make sure you finish your body forward. That helps everything remain fluid. So get the lie down, get your left foot planted, get your hips and arm back, and give it a shot.
Get in there. Oh.
Again, that shot's never going to fall very far from the basket. I can run from 50 to 150 feet just that same way every single time.
Are you keeping your eye on the target the whole time?
I look at it first, and then I've got the mental image.
Okay.
It's the distance thing. You can't program yourself. You can't be thinking about that. It's one less thing to think about.
Height was good, but the aim was a little low.
That's not too bad. I believe that if you would have finished your body forward, the frisbee wouldn't have fell off to the left at the end. If you would have just finished a little bit forward with your body, it would have been easier to turn the frisbee over.
All right, let's see some more of this.
Okay.
So there you go. It's the approach shot. David, can you quickly recap your most important points?
Basically, it starts with the grip. You want to make sure you have a nice fan grip. Your thumb, the disc up in your hand, palm. You want it curled up in your wrist to start, and you want to make sure that you follow through. You come up, you want to make sure you get a nice firm stance, and you want to get your hips away from the target, and you want to make sure you follow through. and you usually want to give it chain high.
And David, if somebody wants to pick up one of these cool wizards, this disc that you've been throwing, where can they go?
We have a website that has an online shopping cart that accepts most major credit cards. The address is www.gdstour.com.
Dave McCormack, thanks so much for your help.
Thank you, Brian.
And you, get out there and practice your approaches.